Hello, everyone, and thanks for tuning into the Medium by Design. Today's message is the second message from the Sirians. I do have one. I can't remember exactly when I posted that last one. I did look it up and I did re-listen to it. And they are another galactic race that's trying to assist us. They're on the side of the light. They want to help humanity. And this is another wonderful message, very uplifting, very clear. It's just great, the information that's been coming through. And this is all after the heart surgery, after all this healing work, and I'm still able to receive these beautiful messages. And the groups have been just as beautiful. The people showing up are just fabulous. They're so committed. They're so open. And if you did listen to the previous message from the Council of Nine, the people that are showing up at different spiritual groups, they may not even know why they're there, but their evolutionary path is being accelerated. So it's really good stuff. There are some wonderful things going on this planet, regardless of what you might be witnessing in your own world. So here's what they had to say. This has been a long-awaited moment. You were told you would meet and interact with 12 ET races, and we are one of them. There is so much more for you to learn and explore as we realize you have been quite turned off by the recent state of affairs you find yourself. This is completely understandable. Just as the Galactic Federation has shared, staying in patience through these deeply transformative periods seemingly connected to nothing or doing nothing does not suit your style. We understand, but can also bring another perspective you might find interesting. As the YouTube video states, there are chosen ones that are going through a process that many in your world will not understand or even be privy to hearing about. It is not for them, and therefore explaining this to everyone is completely unnecessary. It is important that you understand your current state and that you allow yourself to go through whatever you must, as easily and gently as possible. And I have absolutely done this. This should make sense to you, since you have had to learn to be gentle and more loving over these last few years. It has been playing out beautifully, albeit if you haven't manifested the way you wanted to or as much as you had been hoping for. The best and easiest way to look at these periods is like a forced timeout. It is absolutely necessary for your own healing and for your own system to literally be downloaded with new information for you to share and rely on for the rest of this timeline. You have had to shed so much outdated information that will not be useful moving forward. That is referring to programs, things that were given, even things I studied previously that are no longer relevant or valid in this timeline now. We are dropping some old teachings as well as programs, ancestral baggage, all the stuff you've heard from many other people on the internet. I don't really need to repeat that. It is important to remember that there is nothing wrong. You have already been through a large physical shift and forced release. There are and continue to be waves of release happening, but they are less and less. Have no fear. Do not worry. You are not required to do or force anything. Only do what comes naturally when the energy is there for you. Feel free to connect with us for an infusion of the blue light that will help soothe your soul. Now that was new to me. I never heard about the blue light. Just think of this time as the most soothing, relaxing time of your life. Let go of all extra thoughts and a figuring it out way of thinking. That's very important. No more overthinking with the mind. That is all the past. There is nothing to figure out. Just do whatever comes naturally as the inspirational idea comes to you. It is that easy. Slowly and gradually, you will take on more as you are able, the same way you do with exercise. See yourself at the bottom of the hill, slowly strolling up gracefully and easily. No pushing, stressing, or worrying about time or when. You might also look at this time of learning with what self-love looks like to you. Staying home, avoiding crowds, or certain people can all be seen as acts of self-love. Every move or action that is in your best interest is an act of self-love. It does not have to be any more complicated than that. We are pleased you took time today to connect with us. We will continue to be part of the Human Earth Galactic Alliance. Keep a lookout in the sky for us. We love to show off sometimes. And I did hear that through this Lionsgate period of 2024, I think they were brighter. I think I noticed somebody say that they were brighter. I really didn't go and look. I don't have a report on what was going on in the sky. So they were short and sweet, and they're just reminding us that if you are on your ascension process, your spiritual evolutionary process, you may have to do some of these things. You may have had to slow down. You may have had to disengage to avoid certain experiences and people and back away, step back. This is all normal. And I heard this beautiful soul on TikTok that really gives out a lot of information. She's doing videos every day, and she too is having these feelings. She used the word weird many times. And what's funny about that is I have thought life was weird for the past 4 years, even 5 now, because 2019 for me had some disastrous moments with people, like stuff I never ever experienced with other human beings. So, and I kept saying, oh my God, this is so weird. This is so weird. And we're still in what appears to be a weird period. And not everyone, by the way. And if I ever say everyone or every single country and everyone on the planet is going through the same exact thing, slap me, because that is not true. And we know that from some of the other messages that each country that's going through transition is having a different experience. That was in one of the recent messages. If you go back just a couple of videos, it's in there. So I hope this touched you in some way. I hope that you feel fabulous today. I hope you're not going through any of these waves. But if you are, just know it's a wave. You're going through it. Relax, take a step back. If someone is triggering you in an extreme way, again, there's nothing wrong with taking a break and taking a step back. Remember the old saying, and the new young people may never have heard this, it takes two to tango. So even in a conflict, if one person walks away, there's no one to fight with. There's no more debate. You need two, at least two. So just remember that when you're in the middle of something. If you've had enough, just stop. Do you remember the funny video with Bob Newhart when the woman comes in? This was on his the Bob Newhart show when he was the psychiatrist, and the woman comes in complaining about something she doesn't know how to control or whatever, and he yells at her, just stop it. Well, as funny as that is, there are moments in this life that if you choose to just stop it, it will end. So on that uplifting note, if you liked the video, you know what to do. You know how to be supportive. Like it, share it, subscribe it. My email is below if you need to contact me for any any services I might be offering. Just write to me. If you have a story you think I should share on a video, let me know. I'm not on TikTok yet, and here's a good thing, since we're not too over time here. Here's an interesting thing. When I was told in 2020 to get on YouTube, and I said this in a previous video, but you may not have seen that video, I was told that I was going to go on YouTube. So being the Aries that I am, I thought that instruction meant I should do YouTube immediately. This is for the people that might feel their mind doesn't function. And we have a young girl that comes to the groups, and she has the same experience. So it's not age related. It doesn't have to be age related. Let me just say, I don't want to overgeneralize, because people do have problems with their mind and their brains, and that is a legitimate problem. But for many, not all, not saying everyone, but for many, we go through these periods where the mind can't grasp a concept, where it can't learn something, it can't do something. And what I learned is if it can't do it, then there's no divine timing on that particular task. So here's what happened with YouTube. I look at YouTube, I open it up, and I go, okay, I want to start doing this. How do I do this? The mind went blank. I couldn't understand the tutorial videos. I couldn't understand instructions. It was like a monster. I was looking at something that was just coming down on me. It just was not going to go. But 6 months later, I opened YouTube again, and I completely understood how to do YouTube. I didn't know how to explain that, and I often have referenced, do you remember the original Star Trek series from the 1960s? There is a fabulous episode. Remember, those episodes are all downloads that Gene Roddenberry got about ETs, about consciousness. There's a lot of messages in Star Trek productions. And if you can see and hear the message, you can understand your spiritual side much, much deeper than you ever thought you could. And you should do that with anything you watch. Any video, any movie, any story that's told, see if there's a spiritual message that's helping you evolve. So in this episode, someone stole Spock's brain and put it into their computer that ran their society. And it was running the society. They didn't kill the body. The body was alive, but the body was no longer communicating and was just an empty shell, right? The doctor, he was ordered to get Spock's brain back and put it back in that body, but he was not trained. He didn't know how to connect all those neurons and all those nerves, the thousands of nerves that go through the brain and are connected to nerves that go through this body and down your spinal column. So how did they teach us how to retrieve information in that episode? There was a helmet in that society that was using Spock's brain. There was a helmet that when you needed information, you picked it up and put it on your head, and what you needed was immediately available. So the doctor puts the helmet on and gets the download of how to put the brain back in the body. And then he, since now he knows that information, it's child's play. It's a wonderful example of how we are receiving downloads of information that we may not have consciously understood before, and all of a sudden we understand. And it may take us time to integrate that understanding, but the information is there for us to receive. It's a beautiful, beautiful way to understand how our consciousness changes and how we learn more, receive more, and understand more. It's a very well done episode. I thought there was another little note, but it's skipped my mind. Oh, here it is. So I have the same experience with TikTok now. I look at TikTok, it looks like a monster. I don't know how to upload. I don't know how to, I still don't know how to edit. I don't edit these videos. If I blunder, if I do a blooper, I start all over again. So I'm waiting for the download or some kind of assistance to get these videos up on TikTok. So we'll see how that goes. But in the meantime, you know what to do. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for staying to the end of the video. Thanks for subscribing, the new subscribers. Thank you so much, even though I have not put content on a regular basis like so many of your favorite people on here. But I'm doing my best, and I'm doing it as I'm called to do it, so I stay in alignment with my soul's mission, my soul's agenda that it wants to accomplish. But I'm not pushing anything. Everything has to be in the flow, or in the meantime, I'm just resting. I'm still doing a lot of rest and quiet time. So when you're ready to engage, engage. If you need rest, disengage. That's the last note for today. Thanks so much. There is more to come on the Medium by Design.